Imani, thank you so much for your time. Really looking forward to chatting with you. For the listeners at home, will you tell us a little bit about your background, your motivation, and kind of where you are currently?
So, I started as an all-star cheerleader and dancer about 12 years ago,
Hmm.
and I've been doing that since started at 12, and then I stopped doing that roughly around 18, 19 years old.
Hmm.
And then when my second year in college, I found a group of guys dancing, and I was like, oh, I want to see what they're doing. And so I joined the group, and I ended up just kind of like going to practices, and they were like, you have such a good like background, like athletic background,
Hmm.
and athleticism, and gonna like teach you the ins and outs of breaking.
Yeah.
So that's how I got started basically, and that is what I'm like been training since May 23rd of 2014.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
I know it's a specific date, but
Yeah.
I remember the date exactly. But that's what I'm doing now. So currently, I train with them. I ended up founding a all-female breaking group
Hmm.
called Queen City Biddies. There's 7 of us
Okay.
as of right now. And then I ended up, unfortunately, being kicked out of the other group I was in. And then I was just with my female group. And so we've been training and building and building.
Hmm.
And then go around, mostly the East Coast we've been working on, battling as a crew or individuals. And then I am currently, I'm done training for Red Bull. Like yesterday was my day. But
Okay.
now I've been pushing myself to train for Red Bull because this is my first ever Red Bull anything. So that is what I'm doing up to date now.
Okay. Awesome. And will you kind of just tell us a little bit of the different levels as far as how it looks in the world of dance, in the world of breaking?
Yeah, so you mean levels as in
Like you said, Red Bull. Like you've never danced for Red Bull before, but like,
yeah.
what do those kind of levels look like?
Oh gosh. I mean, it's like I can't really even explain it. It's just,
Okay.
it's a very high level of dancing, and I
Mhm.
say this because the people who are in these competitions have had well over a certain amount of years
Hmm.
learning and studying and taking classes
Yeah.
and just practicing it as a whole.
Hmm.
Um, so the level is very high. Like these are people who have been doing it for probably 7+.
Hmm. So is Red Bull the highest level?
I, I don't really know. I'm not sure. I don't want to say yes just because like it is a high level competition, but I don't know exactly what the highest is. Like highest could be like Silverback, which is in Philadelphia every
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
That includes international competitors.
Okay.
So, there are a few that would be ranked a little bit higher than this, but I feel like this is the platform that they give for dancers that
Hmm.
are qualified to do it, I guess.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like, I know that was a hard question, but that was how my take on it, really.
No problem. No, that's a good answer, right? There's multiple levels and but it's one of the highest. So I think
Yes.
that's a simple way to put it.
Yeah.
So kind of moving forward with this, right? So what's kind of your passion in life and why do you kind of do what you do? Like you kind of told the story of how you got into dancing and what's like the bigger thing that you hope to accomplish if there is one with dance?
Eventually I want this to be my full-time thing.
Mhm.
I love teaching. I love, teaching others. I really just like to, this is my way to express myself, one, and to show others that they are fully capable of doing whatever you want to do. Because there was at one point where I was like, I don't know if this is going to be for me.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't.
Mhm.
And, the more I kind of studied, I was like, okay, no, I can do it. There's a way. I just got to learn the right ways. Eventually, I want this to be a full-time thing. Like, I do get booked a lot for gigs in the local area. Right now, I'm in the Raleigh area.
Okay.
So, like, that keeps a consistent partial income for the most part.
Yeah.
But I do find it hard to, I guess, like, have a adult job, like
Yeah.
a 9 to 5, and then want to, dance.
Yeah.
There are people who travel and compete,
Mhm.
travel, teach a class, teach more classes, travel, teach a series. That is their job.
Yeah.
And I eventually hope to get to that, whether it's teaching breaking or whether it's teaching like teaching choreography.
Choreography. Okay. What did you go? What did you study in school, if you don't mind my asking?
So, funny story. I studied several things in school.
Okay.
I switched my major every year. My final outcome was my bachelor's degree in psychology with a minor in sociology.
Okay. Interesting. That's super interesting. Do you find that you kind of use any of the stuff that you learned there kind of in your day to day or within your training or anything like that, or was it just an interest?
I do say a day to day. Whether to keep myself in and out of safe situations or be around X, Y, and Z people.
Yeah.
I feel like that does play a part, and I feel like I'm able to just understand human beings as a whole.
Valuable skill.
Yes, thank you. I really feel like that is very useful.
Yeah.
For me, whether it's dancing or just like being around a human.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and then for dancing, I do feel like dancing, breaking is a mental game.
Okay.
For the most part, because people try to get in your head while you're battling and stuff.
Yeah.
They like make funny gestures or like yell at you or like point at you, whatever. And to be honest, like that stuff doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, like I kind of knew that like at the end of the day, you're gonna shake my hand, walk away, and move on, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not really like pressed about people.
Yeah.
I know that sounds really bad. It's not a cocky thing, but it's like I don't.
No, I really like it.
People
Yeah.
that have that advantage over me.
Yeah.
And I know that I can also play the same game, and you may be affected by it. So it's very different. I feel like I know how to play the game.
Yeah.
I've just done this for a while, and a lot of people have explained like trying to get in your head.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Like do what you're doing. And when I listen to that, that is how I'm able to be like, boom, like I can get in yours, but you can't get in mine. I just don't find it intimidating at this point.
Yeah. No, I really like that because it kind of leads me to my next question, right? So where do you think that breakdancing falls in kind of the hierarchy of athletics, right? So I feel like it doesn't quite fit with like, there's contemporary dance, but then at the same time, it's not cheerleading or like gymnastics. So where do you kind of feel like it fits in? Because that little snippet that you just kind of illustrated really just reminds me of athletics,
Yes. So basically, I find it pretty hot. I say this because it is muscle draining. It does fatigue your muscles just as well as anything, really. And it's like, so again, you remember them putting this thing in the Olympics? Yes, because it is. You have to train yourself for drilling skills consistently. Yeah. And there's some things in like ballet. So we'll take ballet for an example, right? That includes a lot of core training. And I feel like that also is very, oh my gosh, I can't even think about it because it hurts. But like that requires a certain amount of energy, a certain amount of muscle usage. Yeah. And again, it's drilling it and it's consistent. It's like however many days a week. Okay. And that falls along with track. You run how many times, X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Drains your muscles, fatigue. And it's the same thing. Breaking, footwork is a very big part of it. There's a lot of ups and down moments, and there's a lot of power moves. Footwork is just as draining as power moves, I feel like, just because for the sake of burning your legs. And it is a drilling skill. That is a skill that you have to drill for it to be considered correct when people are judging you. Yeah. And that leads people to doing, so a good example would be like, doing a 6-step, doing a push-up, jumping up to a burpee, coming back down, finishing the 6-step again, and repeating that process. Now, if you think about football, those drills are also included in some of these things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like we train just like other athletes. Yes, it is a dancing sport, but there are very important athletic parts to it. So I find it pretty high, to be honest.
No, I really like that answer, and I agree with you. And so kind of moving with that, right, why do you think breakdancing has not been as big publicly as some other athletic sports?
To be completely honest, it did come from, it started in New York, in the Bronx, and it originally was used in place of violence. So the dance was used in place of violence, no fighting, X, Y, and Z, but you could pretend to fight in the dance. Yeah. So with that being said, it wasn't this dance was not being used publicly. It was for people's expression, and then like how do you output your feelings. So expression, so like, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was mostly used for before it even hit television, or people did this out here to make money outside street hitting. But that is that is why I feel like it hasn't made its big break until like, the giant TV shows where they're like, oh yeah, he's spinning on his head. Like,
like America's Best Dance Crew.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't understand like that it did.
Mm-hmm.
It was never a. Don't get me wrong. I'm never gonna say it wasn't an athletic thing, but it wasn't something that people made
originally. Yeah.
A sport. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so with that, what is the difference between like what people see on like ABDC and like an actual cipher?
So what they don't see is sometimes I feel like the same emotion or aggression that people like try to get in and out of the cipher.
Mm-hmm.
Quick moves, blow up moves. Granted, you do see that on ABDC, but it's different. It's directed usually towards somebody.
Yeah.
Where you're like fighting for your spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So ABDC gets to see the flashy tricks. They get to see the blow up moments, the highlights, where everyone's dancing, boom, 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 boom. Someone slides out from the side, bam, you know?
Yeah.
And like that's what they get to see. They're like, oh shoot, he slid on his head.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well you didn't see the dance,
yeah.
you didn't see the go down, you didn't see the 4 elements of this dance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for ABDC now, okay, so now that like kind of world of dance and you know as it's progressed, yes, you do see more of the dancing aspect and like a whole set with less aggression because it's a performance now.
Yeah.
So it has made its way to make it not as like what do people call it? Not mainstream, but like just used. How do I want to say this? Like, there's a difference between actually doing the dance and then just, like, doing your moves.
Yeah,
like, it's not just about doing moves.
Yeah.
And I feel like people now who have been on the show, like Super Crew, they were utilizing everything. Their dancing, how they got down, their power moves, all together, putting together a routine, and then using the blow-up moves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people got the understanding of, like, oh, okay, this is the whole thing. That's how I feel like it's progressed. I know before it was really just like, oh, look, hey, trick, oh, okay. And, like, that's kind of before, and I feel like it's a lot better now. But you know, still, I think it's different now. But anyways,
no, that makes a lot of sense. And you kind of talked about the 4 elements of dance, right? I think you mentioned that. What are the 4 elements of the dance?
So usually there's your top rock, that is everything standing up, like you're dancing. I'm feeling the music. Your go down, which is how you get down to the ground.
Yeah.
You want it to be different. You don't kind of want to just like drop down to the ground. It's like, okay, beginner.
Yeah.
And then your footwork, which are your patterns, and that again is also something you make up, and it's also a part of your foundation. It is your foundation. It's your bread and butter.
Yeah.
And I stress that because they've stressed me about it.
Yeah.
And then you have, there's 5. Excuse me.
Okay.
Then your power moves that goes in between your sets to kind of do your level changes and your big moments, and then your freeze. How do you finish it? How do you pull it all together? Da 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 boom.
Yeah.
And it's like boom, I finished. I'm here. So it's like it's a sentence.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay. And I love your energy, by the way. I just need to say that that's, you know, I can feel the energy from you right now, so that I can only imagine how it is when you actually perform. So kind of moving with that, right? We talked about cipher, and I realized that the listeners might not know what that is. Will you define that real quick for us?
A cipher is basically a circle. So it's basically a circle. Everyone's standing in the circle.
Yeah.
And then with etiquette, the proper etiquette, a person goes one at a time, showcase their skills. If it's like you're getting for a battle, or sometimes people use ciphers to call out somebody.
Yeah.
Then they go back and forth one at a time, and then they finish it, and everyone kind of. Usually there are ciphers. Some cipher showcases are used to get into battles, and then there's just like ciphers while there's an event going and people are warming up. Usually are used to warm up, just show that they can do the skill with people watching. They move away. And it's like a warm-up drill for some, and then after that, some ciphers are used to get into battles.
Okay.
But again, 2 people can't be in at the same time.
Yeah.
If they do, either some will go by the rule,
you
get down to the ground, whoever gets down first, or you rock, boom, 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 burn the person, whoever gets burned, gotta go.
Okay.
So that's how those are.
I love it. Okay. And then, so Red Bull has done a great job promoting, and you talked a little bit about Silverback as well. But who else has kind of helped push the sport or the art forward a little bit?
So before these events, I do say, like, you know, some of the pioneers of this dance, there are a lot of people who have done a lot for the culture. There are people that I can't even name that I also may not know before my time. But I know a good pioneer is Crazy Legs. Rapper Rocksteady Crew has really pushed, you know, for the rights of this culture. Like, this is what it is, you know, and I'm not letting anyone, you know, take away from it.
Yeah.
He's a big one. There's so many, so many. With and these people originally have done a fabulous job
Mm-hmm.
pushing the culture, but these events also, some people feel like the events push the wrong thing, as like the same people make it every time. It's more for just like entertainment,
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends.
Yeah. Okay.
So like Silverback is, I don't want to talk bad about the event. Don't get me wrong, like, it's an event because a lot of people quit. It's free. You get free gear if you enter the battle.
Yeah.
And it's for a lot of people. It's kid appropriate. Everyone can be there.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking bad about it, but there are some situations where it's like, oh, the same people.
Yeah.
Hey, you see your friend. Yep, they're about to make it because they make it every year. So
Yeah.
it's like, I know it's like not a fabulous answer.
Yeah.
But
no, it's an honest answer though.
Yes, it's an honest. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
There are some big events that do push the culture.
Mm-hmm.
There are some events that do take away from why people go to jams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's really about, I feel like, having fun.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it really just depends. But yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Where do you kind of see the future of breaking going in terms of like organization and in relation to kind of like other sports?
Now I can answer the second part. Going in the future, really, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't even think about breaking in the Olympics to begin with.
Yeah.
My crewmate was the only United States female out of the females and males to qualify for the Youth Olympics in Buenos Aires. She was not allowed to compete. We'll talk about that later. But anyways, like, it was crazy because they had put out just like it was random one day. Boom, Facebook. We're doing the Youth Olympics. Blah blah blah. This is how you qualify. Age. Boom boom boom.
Yeah.
It was just like it just came out and I didn't feel like from the like watching of like Silverback or freestyle session or that was the next step.
Yeah.
So it kind of just to me popped up out of nowhere. For other people, I'm sure they talked about it. Boom, threw it on the internet. But with that being said, I'm not sure for the future because they are very positive about bringing it into the Olympics. I don't know like the route it's going to take though.
Yeah.
I don't know if that leaves us in a good position, which is them taking breaking more seriously, and they're like, we want to hire these people. These are not just like people like on the street. I mean, technically it is, but it is. They don't really see it fit for events or weddings or shows, gala events. Those type of things. Like people don't really see those fit for that type of thing. So it could get us more promotion, as in like these people are legit, like they know what they're doing. They are professional X, Y, and Z. Or the Olympics could take what they want with it and take away the true aspect of breaking. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's the fear, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's for some people. So to be honest, I don't know. For me, I just want to be the best that I can be and continue to express myself. Like my goal was never even Red Bull BC1. Red Bull BC1 was never a thought in my head. Yeah. Until maybe last year.
Yeah. Wow. And here we are now. Yeah.
Again, only like 5 years again, but when I started, I didn't want it. I wanted to just grow and be great, and, understand the culture, understand the people, be with people, and that was like my thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what everyone's goal is for the future. It's different from mine. It may be different from your friends. Yeah. But who knows?
Yeah.
And I'm not speaking about it. It's just like I truly do not know.
No, that makes sense. Okay. And then diving in, we talked a little bit about training and stuff like that, but what does kind of a typical training regimen look like for a breaker? Someone say at a high level like yourself at BC1, or someone even just kind of beginning.
So for beginners, definitely it is learning your foundation. So it's like learning your footwork numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
12 up to 12. Basic CCs, like basic transitions, basic go downs, your basic top rock. So those are things that like maybe a beginner would drill for like 30 seconds at a time. Like I would do this skill over and over for 30 seconds, or I would do it 5 times in a row one way, 5 times in a row the opposite way. But they have to eventually build up to, maybe doing a minute of kickouts. Like,
Yeah.
that is very difficult and strenuous on, like, your arms, strenuous on your legs, making sure your form is right. So it's like, it may be moving slow.
Yeah.
Moving slow at a pace that I was moving slow. I'm moving slow, learning basic freezes.
Yeah.
That takes, making sure that, like, your neck isn't, like, broken on the floor. Using, like, your arm muscles to hold you up.
Yeah.
Where do I shift my weight?
Yeah.
So those are, again, like, it is strenuous, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to kind of speak, I guess, because, like, some people may not know about, like, the certain movements.
Yeah.
Of breaking. So, but it is, again, like, learning your foundation and put some of it together. So that, eventually is, like, it is strenuous. It's like drilling, and you just have to make sure it's right.
Yeah.
And then for, like, moving up, like, moving forward, for me, I started taking it, like, more seriously and, like, running for 15 to 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then, doing, like, lower ab workouts to make sure that, like, when I do certain power moves, like, I can hold my own leg stuff.
Yeah.
Arm muscles, like, you would think that I had all of them in the world when everyone sees them, but I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So, like, being able to hold yourself, like,
yeah,
it's a little different.
Yeah.
So, I feel like as you get better and you learn more about the dance, there is more to train.
Yeah.
And it matters whether you're fast or you're slow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of feel about it. Like, when I was just learning, I wanted to make sure all my stuff was right.
Yeah.
I knew my stuff. And then as I was like, now I'm putting it all together.
Yeah.
I'm ready to throw this out in the battle.
Mm-hmm.
What is something that I like to do? How do I put it together? How do I get in and out of it? How do I do it fast, quick, and smooth? How do I put A, B, and C, and D, and E all together and finish my set? And, not be out of breath.
Yeah, yeah.
How do I not be out of breath? How? So, like, that also, I just feel like with time, you understand that, like, you kind of have to, you have to do more than just a 6-step.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. And so, so kind of on that same note, right? So what is the, like, days a week or, like, time per day kind of look like for practice?
So it just depends on you and your person and your lifestyle. For me, when I first started, I was actually able to practice every day.
Okay. Wow.
From, like, 9 till midnight.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah. Now, I didn't say I was moving the whole time.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so, like, there were times where, like, I, as a college student, like, only work on weekends because, like, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
So, like, the weekends, I'm like, oh, I can do this. But now that I'm, like, working, like, a different job and I've moved, I've relocated, and now my schedule was looking like 3 or 2 days of the week, unfortunately. My max would be, like, 3, from, like, 7:30 to 9, it's like an hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
A bit of 15 minutes to warm up and stretch, and then, just start drilling or teaching yourself new movements for the rest of this, and then kind of, like, running over some of the moves you like to put together.
Yeah.
So, that's about it for me.
Okay.
It's not a lot just because of work, and, like, then I do, like, I feel like also some of my practice comes from, like, being able to do gigs. Like, that is my time to showcase my skills and try them out.
Yeah.
Because some people may not know what it's supposed to look like. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I got to go back and practice that.
Yeah.
So I feel like those also give me some extra practice, but everyone, there are some people who are diehard practice every day.
Yeah.
I know a girl who's in the military. I see her practice every morning or every night, whichever it is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, it's like, it just varies. Like, I could get up at 6. I really could. I really, honest to God, could.
Yeah.
But I have not.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
Just, that's why.
Yeah. That makes sense. All right. And then you talked about the strength, right? And how much of a large role that plays. And so do B-boys and B-girls, do you guys typically train strength like only body weight stuff, or do you ever kind of go into the weight room, or what does that kind of look like as far as like strength, and then as far as even conditioning, right? You talked about cardio and being out of breath, or you shouldn't be out of breath, right? How does that look?
So for us, like, I only do, so my cardio definitely is running, and then just like running like a full set back to back. So like run a full set, like you're in a battle. Say they gave you 2 rounds apiece, right? I run through my set, I step back, kind of let someone else dance.
Yeah.
Then go back for the second set, because that is kind of like, you never know. It could be one round, it could be 2.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my cardio aspect, like being able to do it again.
Yeah.
What am I going to do the next time and still be clean and powerful?
Yeah.
And that trains like your stamina, being able to do it all.
Yeah.
Some people, well, I'm not gonna say some. Then I used to do weights.
Okay.
My arms, really my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like my arms were like decent at a time, but like a lot of it does come from your shoulders. Like being able to hold a freeze. Like obviously you have to stand on hands.
Yeah.
So definitely shoulder strength for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have super shoulder from surgery a few years back. So.
Okay.
I just have to make sure that like those muscles are secure for me.
Yeah.
My leg muscles, I don't like do squats or anything. No, I'm not doing that because I don't like any heavier than they are already.
Yeah.
And that's I just can't.
Okay.
I can barely hold them up now, and I know that's funny, but like really.
Yeah.
So like it's really arms and shoulders for me, so I can like hold myself up and like windmills, push up from a headstand to handstand.
Yeah.
A lot of it is like a lot of people train freezes, so like a baby freeze
Yeah.
to head freeze to handstand. Back down to like an elbow freeze, or in that trains like your core muscles and your shoulders all at the same time.
Yeah.
What else? That was the cardio. Then that was like weights. I mean, I don't really use weights. No.
Okay.
I try to do actual workouts that I feel like will target a specific spot that I personally need help with. But it's different for everybody. Like I've seen guys in the gym like weighting it out, and I'm like, yep, you guys got it. I'm cool with push-ups. I did, and I feel like it's kind of helped, but I should probably get back on it.
Yeah.
Last year, November all the way to like maybe February, I think. I was doing 100 push-ups every night.
Okay. Wow.
And so that was a really big part, like being able to do that. Like that also takes time to be able to get to it. But I was doing that at one point. Back to it.
Yeah.
But anywho, like that was something important to me because that helps strengthen my wrists.
Okay.
Those are important because you gotta jump to them sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but for me, those are kind of like my workouts. And
Okay.
Footwork is training like my lower body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that answer your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely does. And then on that same topic, right? Do you think that kind of like B-boys and B-girls can benefit from more structured training, like supplemental training outside of the specific stuff that you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. I really do. And there's nothing wrong with like, it's like you just want your body to prepare for anything. Like, you don't want to be weak and then like go to try and move and then like you hurt yourself really bad and it's a strain, but like have you strengthen those muscles? Yeah. So like when you don't have the strength for certain things, you compensate in other areas and and that could also not put you at an advantage and that could hurt you.
Yeah.
So I do feel like definitely basic training like weightlifting, whatever, basic cardio that anyone would use is always helpful for us because I just feel like it plays a part in engaging all of our muscles, the muscles that we should and need to be using.
Yeah.
Definitely. I really do think that would be very helpful actually. It disciplines you like to get up and do it. You know, like whether it is going to run or doing push-ups or lifting weights. You know, like it disciplines you to not give up. And I feel like that is important. So I do think it helps mentally as well as physically.
I like that. See, and that's the true athlete mentality, right? That's really like so you can kind of see it, both those worlds collide, and so I like that. Okay, and then moving forward a bit into some more things, kind of more on you specifically, and kind of what kind of influenced you. So what are some like resources that kind of have had a big impact on your thought process, whether it's like a book or a conversation or even like a meeting with an individual?
I think when I first started, I didn't have the female crew at all. I was with a group of guys called Familia Mongola, and my motivation came from like theirs. Like we were all able to be friends, and they were like just so nice to me. Like the first day that I said I wanted to join them, the second day they came to my dorm and picked me up and took me to practice. And they're like, like we're dead. Like granted, it's only like a 2-minute drive, but anyways, 15-minute walk for me.
Yeah.
But anyways, they were willing to just help and teach and just spread what they had. They were happy doing it,
Yeah.
So that motivated me. Then when when they would go out every Monday night, we went to a bar.
Yeah.
But also like a little party lounge, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And there was a floor for dancers from like 12, and then there was like the party would happen at like midnight. But anyway, it was for b-boys and b-girls. Like,
Okay.
we were able to just go out there and dance. And
Yeah.
I think the biggest part was going and being able to see the guys just like bust out these moves.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shoot, like this is actually like cool.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like now this is before me seeing the battles, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I just thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
It made me want to learn even more.
Uh-huh.
That was my first time also seeing a girl named Leah.
Yeah.
And she's known as Dragon Muffin.
Okay.
But it was another female out there doing this, and I'm like, yo, this is legit.
Yeah.
So after I kind of like, kept doing that for a while, then I was introduced to the breaking convention by Leah because she saw that Familia of Angola had about 4 or 5 girls, and she was like, where did you guys just come from? And so she invited us to do a show.
Yeah.
And those girls just were like my sisters. Like, I have 3 sisters already. But like, they were the ones that pushed me. Like, they are constantly just like excited about whatever it is we're gonna do. Like, hey, I learned this new thing. Do you want to see it? And I'm like, heck yeah. And like, they just, whether it was us working on a show or us just being friends, that pushed me to want to be a better person, and B, a better dancer, because they wanted to work. We worked great together, and we were willing to stay till like 12 or 1 p.m. or whatever it was to do whatever it was. We were making 45-minute drives to pick up crew members.
Dang. Okay.
So, like, I just feel like their dedication and their hard work to this day has just pushed me in a whole new aspect.
Yeah.
Also, one of my first inspirations were the girl Roxy. She's from the UK.
Okay.
Repping Soul Maverick Heartbreakers.
Yeah.
She was definitely one. She's so athletic, like back handsprings, like back tucks.
Yeah.
Back handspring to 90. Like, she's strong and just bendy and just like she's like, strong and still like feminine. Like, I loved that.
Yeah.
It showed that like she was beating dudes. Like, she's dope, and like I respected that, and I was like, oh yeah, like this is something I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Really that, and then the North Carolina scene as a whole.
Okay.
Like, being able to see like our culture come together at certain events. And watching other people dance, like not everyone does the dance the same. So like that was my favorite part. And one of my biggest inspirations were No Sense. His name's Brandon McCrimmon, goes by No Sense. People with No Sense.
Yeah.
He's just his personality speaks for himself.
Yeah.
So he's actually now my mentor. He's been my mentor for 2 years now.
Okay.
And he's someone I looked up to. Like, at my first battle, he was one of the guys I saw, and he would like yell and like rap during his sets, and I'm like, what kind of like monster can even do that? He was just so incredible. Yeah. And like, oh my gosh, like he was one of my favorites. Is one of my favorites. Now my mentor, and like I'm just blessed. Like he is a great human being. Yeah. Besides the dance, and then for the dancing aspect, another inspiration to me, and it pushes me to again be a better person and be a better dancer. So like. It's crazy. Like, those people, North Carolina, the Queen City Biddies, like, Familia of Angola, Brandon, like, it's really been a lot of people that have entered my life to inspire me. So
that's awesome.
Those people are my motivation,
Okay. And then moving into this last segment here, right? So if you have any, what are some quotes that you live by?
This one's dumb, but, like, I don't care. And it's, like, go hard or go home.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough,
my mom always told me from cheerleading, you know, and she was just like, look, besides her paying all the money in the world for this, like, I'm very grateful, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But definitely she was just saying, like, if you're going to do it, like, go hard. Yeah. And, like, if you're not, then why are you here?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Always that was the one thing that I have lived by since I started being in, like, an athletic child. Yeah. And it never has left my brain. And I feel like even if I mess up or I look dumb, at least I know that I did my best. There are some times where I know I didn't do my best, and I'm not disappointed. Yeah. And I've learned that. I've learned that if I just don't do my best, then, like, okay, you don't deserve anything. Yeah. And that's just it. I'm sorry, because it's like, are you going to put in the work for it? There are other people who work their butts off. There are some people who aren't blessed with, a family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am blessed enough and lucky to have, a family that's like, really, like, go off, like, go do this. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it, and you're going to do your best. Yeah. Don't be mad when the outcome's not the best, because you try your best. Yeah. So that is just something I have lived by, and I have learned, and I have learned to be less disappointed,
Yeah.
If something doesn't go my way.
Okay.
So,
I
this is something I live by. And another one was like, leave no stone unturned.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Heard that one? Yes,
Yeah.
my coach, Jerome Bacon,
Uh-huh.
always said that to us. Oh my goodness. So, that was my cheerleading coach since I was like, 12.
Okay.
Yeah. So he coached me all the way up to 19 years old.
Awesome. Okay. So he's had an influence on you then.
So he is a very hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
He did cheer before my time.
Yeah.
And he just always said, like, again, every time before we got on stage, leave no stone unturned. I'm like, all right, bro.
We get it. Yeah.
We're going to do this. So, but no, leave it all out. Leave your heart on the floor. Those are big things to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't look at anything else.
Okay. No, those are good ones. And so the next question kind of being, what is the best advice that you've ever been given? It's a tough one.
Nice. I think over the years, it's just gradually become, like, be honest or be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And I think for a long time I was just like, I don't know. You know how everyone's like in denial. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Those are important things to me. Like, to always be honest with yourself and realistic. Like, be realistic. Like, just know that life is what it is, and all advice is good advice unless you don't follow it yourself and you're giving it to somebody. So
yeah, there it is.
I don't know.
Okay, so
I didn't really think of like something specific.
Okay,
that's crazy.
In contrast to that, then, what is the worst advice you've ever been given?
I mean, there's probably been some.
Yeah.
But I just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just somewhere people. I mean, like, okay, dancing wise, there's always been like some guy that's like, oh, I can get you to do this, or like,
Yeah.
One time, I have been dancing for like 5 years. Granted, I'm not saying I know everything under the sun, but this guy told me, he's like, I know a go down that like will make you like boom, like pop. I'm like, okay. So like he teaches me, and I was like, what? Like, I learned this when I first started.
Yeah.
And that was like the worst thing anyone could have ever said to me. And I was like, okay, you can just now, like, I can make you a monster. I'm like, go away.
Yeah.
Sometimes guys give bad advice. I know that sounds crazy because it's like they kind of don't understand. So I just get guys in a little like real quick and be like, sometimes you do not understand me as a lady, so like you can't give me good advice.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
But no, bad advice. I don't know.
Okay. No problem. And then kind of the last question here, right? So what are some projects that you're currently working on, and how can people kind of reach out to you and follow your journey?
Projects. I have no projects I'm working on right now. Like, Red Bull was 2 weeks ago in Orlando. I worked like 3 weeks. That was my, like, getting up, running, eating right. Like, I was busted by a word to be good and make it to semifinals, or, win, like do good.
Yeah.
So that was my first project. My project right now is the national final in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
That is like what I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
After that, I have no projects. I don't know what is going to. I don't know what battles right now. I honest to God do not have a plan after this because I just need a mental break.
Yeah.
That is my honest truth.
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
I just plan.
Yeah.
To just get my mind right from now to tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
At 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And that's it. I'm not working on anything else right now. But if you want to follow anything that I'm doing, like again, I have social media. I'm trying to take a break from social media, but I will post about how I do and all of that I have. Again, my name's Imani Chu, so you can find me on Facebook. My Twitter handle is basically the same thing. My Twitter. I don't use Twitter. Instagram.
Okay.
But you'll see me like post updates, and that's about the best that I can give you.
Okay.
Other than that, like I'm just working on building like a strong I stream video games.
Okay.
So I'm working on that right now, but that's it.
Okay.
That's my mental break. Anywho, that's it. That's all I have.
Yeah. Well, Imani, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you taking out the time to kind of be on this podcast, and wishing you luck in Houston, and excited to see how you do, and hopefully we can connect again soon in the future.
Yes, thank you so very much. I thank you for asking me. I
Hmm.
was sorry I've been like MIA, but just busy, just trying to get my head right
Yeah.
and still, continue work and all this craziness. Anyways,
Yeah.
I really do appreciate you just being patient with me because I'm just all over the
Oh,
place.
no problem. Yeah.
And just thank you for giving me this opportunity. So I
Yeah.
can't wait to kind of hear it back and all the
Yeah.
shenanigans. And yeah, just thank you. Thank you. Thank you.